and it's Hull FC hosting Warrington Wolves.
What do you think?
I just think Warrington are too good at the moment to not win this game. I know that they let Wakey back into things, and to an extent they gave Wigan a little bit of a sniff as well the week before. But I guess that just shows how good they are, because the winning games, they're leaving points out on the board, out on the pitch that they're not putting up on the board, and they're still winning these games. I'm going to go 26-10 in favour of Warrington. Sorry, Hull fans.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to agree. I think obviously Hull are, the slump is over, but they weren't massively convincing last week, even with a dreadful penalty count, I believe.
And a woeful goal kicking from Snide.
Yeah, that too. But Warrington just too good for you, I'm afraid. Warrington by 10.
Okay, the other game on Friday, 7:45 kickoff as well. Do we need to say much about this one? St Helens versus Hull KR without Joe Wardle and the rest.
Yeah.
Saints by tons.
Yeah, I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I'd be sticking the mortgage on it. St Helens
if anything,
by
that gives chance.
St Helens by possibly 30.
Yeah, I've got Saints by 30 plus. Yeah. Okay, 3 games on Sunday then this weekend. Interesting one, this one. Hard one to pick. London hosting the Huddersfield Giants. Which way do you see this one going?
I see there've been plenty of points in it. Huddersfield obviously found a bit of form against a poor side last week. London did themselves no disgrace against FC. But I've gone for Huddersfield to squeak it, an away win by 4.
I've gone the same. Huddersfield by 4. I would not be shocked if this is the other way around. This is the... I mean, all the Sunday games are tough to pick, I think, this week, but this one was the one that I hesitated over the most. But I'm going to go Huddersfield by 4 to sort of back up where they're getting at. Some of the key players are playing some good form at the moment. The next game on Sunday to talk about is Wakefield hosting Salford. 2 of the more entertaining sides to watch in the competition this year, so I'm expecting points in this one. I'm giving it Salford in a narrow win. I'm going Salford in a 32-30 tense drama. Okay,
I've gone the other way, but there's not a lot. But there's a bit of a cigarette paper between these two. Yeah. They're both entertaining, but they can both both falters. Disappointing defeats. I'm going to go Wakey by 6.
Okay, and the game is rounded off by Wigan versus Catalan to complete a big round of games on Mothering Sunday. Thanks for what you do to all the mums out there. I'm going to go Wigan to win this game. I'm hoping we've got a bit of our mojo back. I'm a little bit concerned that Joe Greenwood's going to be missing the game, but I think we're sort of edging back into fitness. There's got to be a bit more confidence from that performance. A win and a few really nice tries. And Catalan on the road, still questions, isn't there? So 28-16 Wigan for me. What about you?
Okay, I've gone the other way. I've gone for a Catalan win. I'm not taking you off the life support machine just yet. You're not out of danger as far as I'm concerned.
We're 4 points off the playoffs. What are you on about? Don't understand all this worry. We're 4 points off the playoffs.
You're also 2 points off the bottom of the table. Catalan by 6.
Fair enough. I wouldn't be shocked, to be fair. Okay, into the Challenge Cup then. I looked down the list of Challenge Cup games and thought, where do I see an upset? And I thought 4 from 4 Hunslet versus scratchy and not great defensively Halifax.
Yeah.
They're on minus 75 points this year so far, Halifax. I think there's a chance of an upset in that one, so I picked that one out.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at a Challenge Cup game this week?
Yeah, there's a practical reason. We've got a christening on Sunday, so if I can't go to a game on the Sunday, but Featherstone are playing on Saturday, and if you don't go down to Featherstone for a Challenge Cup game, has it ever happened? Is the competition real if you don't go to Featherstone?
I'm surprised that one of the games you've been to so far wasn't moved there for some reason.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I don't think any charge through the Challenge Cup rounds is complete without a trip to Fev. So that's where I'll be on Saturday.
Interesting game, actually, that one, because you expect bit of a dual reg deficit for both those sides,
To expect so, yeah.
because of not wanting to have them players cup ties. So that might be an interesting one to see. Maybe another potential upset to look at. Maybe Oldham Widnes. You never know. There's a chance there. And the big derby game, of course, that's on BBC Online, which is Keighley versus Bradford Bulls. So we shall see. We shall see what goes on there. Interesting Challenge Cup stuff. Okay, Brit picks from the NRL. Broncos versus Dragons, 8:50 a.m. I haven't written the day, so I'm going to have to pull this one out, aren't I? That must be Thursday's game. The Raiders versus the Knights, the awesome foursome British players in that one for the Raiders. 7 a.m. on Friday. Eels versus Roosters, just in case Ryan Hall miraculously recovered. You can watch that at 8:55 on Friday as well. And then the Rabbitohs play the Titans, 8:10 on, I'm going to guess Sunday. And if you watch any of those games at all, head over to the Google form for the match reviews. If there's not a link directly after the game that of your choosing, then there'll be the general catch-all link on Sunday afternoon at around 8 o'clock-ish that you can get. Sunday evening around 8 o'clock-ish that you can get all your reviews in on all your games at that stage. If you get them in by 9:30-ish, then we'll get them into next week's show. That's pretty much it now for 214. Alan, thanks for being around again. It's been great to catch up and go through some exciting games and a Wigan win. I'm sure you enjoyed that just as much as I did.
Oh, loved it. Yeah, I definitely haven't been having fun with Wigan and Leeds in crisis this year. It hasn't been a tonic at all.
Whilst Bradford are probably in as best a status they've been in for a decade.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm in clover this year comparably. Mid-table obscurity would be lovely this year, quite frankly.
Well, I've not built my quiz around Wigan finally getting a win this week, but what I have built it around was one of the standout things from this week, which was the 4-try performance from Fuad Yaha.
Okay.
So I've picked out a 3-question quiz for you based on 4-try performances. Okay. So question 1 is, and I'm trying to make these harder as they go, but we'll see how that works out. But question 1 for you, Alan, is which team did Bradford Bulls' legendary winger Leslie Vinacolo score 4 tries against in a 2005 71-0 playoff win for the Bulls?
Okay, I do know this one, but I'm just going to give people a second just to think about it. Sorry, Sarah, it was Hull FC.
It was Hull FC. I remember that game well.
I do.
Which player scored 4 tries for England against PNG in the 2010 Four Nations? At the time, he was a Harlequins player, then best known for being a centre.
Oh. This is where he chucked the ball into the stand and nearly got himself in trouble. It's Tony Clubb, isn't it?
It is Tony Clubb, yes. The clues were floated through there a little bit. Okay, final one then. We're going a little bit further back into the history books, but not too much beyond the range of memory. Which Leeds winger put in a 4-try performance as part of the Rhinos' 1999 Challenge Cup final victory over the London Broncos?
Okay, I know this one too, but I'm going to give people a second just to rack their brains for this name. It was Leroy Rivette.
It was Leroy Rivette, yes. It was.
Famously.
Excellent. Outstanding performance there.
Yeah, well, there's the first one, that game really sticks in my memory because it was Stephen Kearney who got himself sent off in like the 5th minute, and Hull FC completely capitulated the rest of that game. And yeah, Tony Clubb, I've mentioned this before. I've got a bit of a. He's one of those players I just don't like for no apparent reason, and I think that's when he first came to my attention, and. Yeah, I just remember the game against the Broncos at Wembley, last one at Wembley before it moved on. So yeah.
That's right, yeah. Okay. Do you have anything to recommend for our wonderful listeners in the SLP family, Alan?
Okay, so I was saying nothing's really been going on in my life. It's been pretty boring. But the one thing that I've been doing,
another podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't listen to it. I mean, I'm not going to, God, I'm not going to give it too much encouragement.
You are so going to get dobbed in.
She doesn't listen this far in. What I was going to recommend, it's a computer game, something completely different, or something I don't think I've recommended before. It's for PC. It's called Planet Coaster. So it's for those of you that are of an older vintage, you might remember Roller Coaster Tycoon. And basically you build your own theme park, and it is just the most absorbing thing. You just lose yourself for hours in it. It's an open world type thing. You can build your own roller coasters and rides and charge whatever you want to get in and build shops. I might take
from this that you've basically stolen your daughter's computer game. And not...
No, it's a serious game for adults. No, it's really good. It's very absorbing, but it is very accessible for everybody. It's very good.
My favourite game of this sort of style was Theme Hospital. I used to love Theme Hospital. Never quite got into Theme Park. So there you go. Similar
idea, but instead of fixing people up, you're overcharging them for a roller coaster.
Fair enough. Well, my recommendation is Preston. Preston.
Just Preston.
Preston, as people will know, is one of the host training bases for the 2021 World Cup. And it's an up and coming city, I feel, even maybe if I'm slightly biased as it's on my doorstep. And also it's the home of our friends, our new friends in 2019, the South Ribble Rabbitohs. But I just think it's a city that's like I say, up and coming, getting better. So we went on Saturday afternoon to see my friends Craig and Shona. We went out for tea. We went to a place called Otter's Pocket, which I might have talked about on the show before. They basically do pies and mash.
Right.
I mean, where else do you go wrong? They've got an amazing pricing structure. It's very weird the way they price the products, but nothing's like $9.99 or like £10 or on the dot or whatever. It's $8.88.
All right, okay.
Or $7.77. But anyway, wonderful stuff. I had a steak and blue cheese pie that was fantastic. If it wasn't enough, I would have asked for another because it was that tasty. And then there's also a great pub now in Preston called Plug and Taps, which is crazily unfinished in terms of the decor and that sort of stuff. But the beer selection is always really good. The staff are always really friendly, and the music that they play is right up my street too. So it's just an all-round positive vibe. There as well from me. And then we've found, it's not like we found it like it didn't exist already, but I'd not been there until Saturday. But where I watched the bits of the Catalan Leeds game that I watched was a place called Wings and Beers, which is a sports bar that me and Emma are going to try out for food as well. I think next time I'm angling for we'll go for tea on a Thursday night so I can still watch the rugby, but I've taken her out for tea, so it's like a I think that works.
You'd be the perfect husband.
It works.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, if you just position yourself so you're looking at the screen, you'll be fine. Yeah, it sounds great to me.
Good stuff. Right, okay. What's coming up? I'm going to watch Rod Gilbert on Wednesday. That's coming up. And then I think it must be Tim next week, Because it was Sarah last week, it was you this week.
By process of elimination, it probably is.
It must be Tim next week. Right, okay, so that's what we've got for you. Get your fan reviews in, get your news opinions in, break up me and Tim chatting with your views, and I'm sure it'll be a super fun